What's up, people? You're listening and watching the RAPS Talk podcast presented by HipHoopJunkies.com and HoopHeadsNorth.com, episode 97, Hoops Talk out of Halifax. My name is Romy Aquino. I have with me.
Jean-Francois was hoping for better tonight.
And
Yui, Silver Lining Sampang.
so, what did you guys do for for the second half? Did you actually watch the game, or
Yeah, I had the game on, but I just started tweeting. I actually tweeted. I think you saw it, Romy. This game is over now, right? That was after the third quarter. I was actively watching through the third quarter, but then I was like, "Come on, man! You're down 40 going into the fourth. Come on, man! I really can't watch this." So I put on a little bit of Drizzy. Put on that new Views CD. Was listening to that. And, shout out to Amazon. My order came in today, along with Don Say's lemonade, you know what I mean? So that's what I was doing, man, just listening to some new music purchases, you
know? Yui, what were you doing in the second half?
I watched most of the third quarter. I wanted to see how JV was moving, and I wanted to see if Lowry and DeRozan would ever adjust to the double teams, and they never did. Like, they still just kept turning it over and kind of being meek against it and not recognizing it earlier. And then in the fourth quarter, I cut my nails and brush and floss my teeth, getting ready for bed. Nice. So I don't know what happened in the fourth quarter, but apparently they should play Jason Thompson and DeLon Wright more because they're the only two guys with positive plus minus.
116-78 final score, the Toronto Raptors, in a very important Game 5. I mean, everybody's talking about Game 5, how, I mean, whoever wins Game 5 is more favorable to win the series. And, I mean, the Raptors, if they want to win, they have to win a game in Cleveland. They had a chance tonight, and it wasn't even close from the jump. 37 points in the first quarter from Cleveland, and then just went from there, man. Like, 28 points in the second quarter for the Cavs, and then just 19 and 15 for the Raptors. What went wrong? I mean, from the start, like, what did Cleveland do that was just too much for Toronto? What was it?
Cleveland was going to come out guns blazing and throwing everything at them. And what was crazy is that they let the guy who was ice cold in the last two games get going early. They let Kevin Love just back you down in the post, little jump hook. Let me get out here for a little three. You know, next thing you know, dude's got like a dozen points in the first quarter. It's like, are you serious right now? Like, I thought, like, if anything, you keep making it difficult for the guy who's having a difficult time, not just let him get rolling like he was, you know, the rest of the playoffs. It was just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Good. No, I was going to say, I think they made a point. I mean, everybody was talking about how bad Kevin Love played that last game and where is he type of thing. So I think they wanted to make a point and get him involved early. And, I mean, I'm pretty sure he hit his first shot. And then from there, I mean, he was able to get whatever he wanted. And, it was, I think they wanted to prove a point and get him going. I mean, we've seen it with, like, Kyle Lowry type of thing. Like, if he has an off game, the Raptors try to get him involved early just to get the stroke going and everything. We're going to say Yui?
And their defense was just all over them, like being super aggressive. But they hadn't done this as much before, but just really forcing the double teams on Lowry and DeRozan. Like, it was like Lowry was expected that the weak hedge double team on pick and rolls usually. You know, usually when the big man backs off, the big man was coming hard, hands up, hands wide, so he can't pass it around or above. And Lowry was just turning it out, like just being totally meek against it, like trying to split it with the pass that was weak, and it would always get tipped. You got to be aggressive against that, like a CP3 who recognizes it coming early and splits those double teams. Or, you know, if you're gonna pass it over the top, you got to recognize it before it's right on top of you because you're a small guy, right? So it's the silver lining there is like this is kind of the first time that they're being treated like real superstars, where it's like, get the ball out of these guys' hands, force them to make the right decisions, and then force the rest of the team to beat you. And they didn't get it to the right guys, and they didn't make the right plays, and the turnovers led to fast break points. Game over. That was it.
Yeah, the points of turnovers are, I mean, definitely a difference maker. I don't have the stat, but I know throughout the broadcast they were saying it. But it was just something, I mean, kind of ridiculous. And I don't know with this Toronto Raptors team, and I feel really bad for those traveling fans
Yeah,
that that travel to these road games. They've seen some terrible playoff basketball games on the road, this one included. I mean, there's got to be at least a few hundred fans in Cleveland tonight, and I know they Air Canada ran that contest to send some fans to Cleveland.
He had to send 50 fans then on a private plane. Here you go.
Yeah,
I hope it included beer and alcohol.
yeah. And for those fans, man, that pay their hard-earned money just to get to a playoff game to support the team, and for the Raptors just to, I mean, in the playoffs, I mean, to lose by 40 or whatever, it's just embarrassing. You would think that they could make it competitive, I mean, somehow, but it's just they never. Once they got down big, it's just kind of the same old story, and then just you can't get back into it, and then you're just forcing it, and you're forcing tough shots and something like that. But it just wasn't there at all tonight. I mean, I don't know what else to say about tonight's game.
Well, it was just, like you said, and you did as well, Romy. Like they didn't bring the effort. They weren't able to respond to the adjustments that the Cavs made, and anything that was presented to them that put them in any kind of situation of duress. They weren't able to, hold their own and make up for it on the fly and adjust on the fly themselves. I thought that they were going to be able to do it in the first quarter and play pretty even basketball, but it was like 2016 JV hit that jumper from the free throw line to get it to 4 and forced Tyronn Lue to call a timeout. But after that, the Cavs went on like a 17-3 run to end the quarter, and they never looked back. The stat you were looking for earlier, Romy, was 19 total turnovers for the Raptors, and gave up 30 points to the Cavs on those 19 turnovers. Conversely, the Cavs ended up having 17 turnovers in the game, but only 19 points came off of those 17 turnovers. Points in the paint, Cavs 46, Raptors 32, so that's been an exact opposite of what we've seen the last couple games, really right back to what the Cavs had done in games 1 and 2. Second chance points 18, Raptors 11, fast break points 21, Raptors 14, and let's see, the free throws 2. The Raptors only shot 60% from the free throw line. Good Lord.
Yeah,
31 of 35 from the free throw line. That's disgusting. And the Cavs shot 75%. So, every breakdown I just gave there's a discrepancy in a fairly wide margin for the Cavaliers. And all those point differentials, that essentially, accounted for that 38-point win.
Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, the free throws. I mean, that was another aspect that was pretty bad for Toronto. And conversely, on the Cleveland, I mean, the big three were huge. I mean, LeBron had 23 points. He only played 32 minutes. Kevin Love, 25 points in 24 minutes. Kyrie had 23. So, I mean, just those three guys alone. I mean, that's what the guys are there for. And I mean, we didn't see that in Toronto, where all three of them were playing well. And this was just another. It was a good opportunity for them to show up. And then, I mean, they didn't really have to dip into the second unit or Channing Frye to be that difference maker. So
Even I even remember one play in the third quarter there with the hard double teams hedging hard. Kevin Love got his hands on a Lowry pass and started a fast break. Like, what the hell? Lowry had 5 turnovers, and DeRozan was 2 for 8 shooting. And what you look for when like a star starts to get double teamed hard like that, you start to look at his assist numbers, or even the team assist numbers from the hockey assists, where guys can start swinging the ball out of the double team and take advantage of it that way. But no, it was like the team they weren't even ready for that, right? Like the whole team has to be ready for that double team with proper spacing on the court, so you can outlet these guys who are double teamed hard, and they just weren't. They just didn't look ready for it. It was like, defense, bye.
Yeah, they didn't look ready whatsoever, and Cleveland came out energized. Especially in that first quarter, like the energy. The energy in the building. For that first quarter, and from the starting five was just. It was ridiculous as well. What did you think about the fans, the Cleveland fans?
Yeah, that's funny because we were talking about before. Sean, did you notice that they missed the sweet spot? Like at the beginning of the game, Devlin and those guys had mentioned that the Cavs fans were a little nervous, so it was a little quiet. But then they got really loud when it was about like 15, 20 points. But then all of a sudden it was 30 or 40, and they were like, "Oh, it's over. We have no reason to cheer our team on anymore." And they got super quiet. Like it was just completely quiet by halftime.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas like the OKC crowd just keeps getting louder and louder. Like you pump it up to 70 points, they're getting louder.
They just pile it on for sure.
Yeah, it would be the same
thing.
Yeah, definitely. Good thing we saw tonight. We saw JV back in action. He played 18 minutes, had 9 points. Just good for him to get back in the mix, get his reps in. We get to see JV and Biombo at the same time. But it was a short stint. But that was cool. What did you think of JV and his return?
For being off that many games, you could tell that he and Alex McKechnie, like they talked about in the telecast, they did a lot of stuff to stay ready. JV made all 4 of his field goals, missed the 1 free throw. He made 1 and missed 1, but he made all 4 of his field goal attempts. So it would be nice to see them be able to feed him a little bit more. You'll still be on a limited minute basis, I'm sure, to start, but solid for a first game back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the times that they were on the floor together, the short time, it was like Lowry and DeRozan were turning it over, so you didn't really get a chance to see. And Biombo was guarding Love as guarding the stretch 4, and JV on Tristan. So I wanted to see it more. I wanted to see how it was going to play out, but didn't really get much of a chance.
Yeah, no, it was kind of too bad. We get to see more minutes from them, but. Friday, game 6, back in Toronto. Toronto, I guess, is undefeated against Cleveland on their home court. So we're hoping we can push for that game 7, and that'd be step 1. whether or not they can beat Cleveland in a game 7 situation, that would be tough based on what we've seen so far. In this series. What do you expect from Toronto on Friday?
I expect them to show up, and hopefully they can get back to what they did in games 3 and 4. They don't have a choice. It's win or go home, right? In their case, win or stay home. So, that's what I'm looking for.
Yui.
Yeah, me too, man. Like I'm at the point where it's like, oh God, please be close, because if it's not, the haters will come out again.
Yeah.
They'll come out bad. Just if they get down early, like if Cleveland's hitting threes early and the Raptors get stunned, oh man, that's good. That could be a bad thing. Yeah, Cleveland was 10 for 21 from 3 tonight, and LeBron hit 2 of his 4, even though they were kind of like late in the game when it was already put away. But hitting those games in real game situations and seeing them go down, like if LeBron's hitting threes, I don't know if you could even stop this Cleveland team.
I don't think so either. But I mean, the most successful season ever. If you're a bandwagon fan that just jumped on the Raptors train, this is the kind of basketball you you watch with this Raptors team. It's a roller coaster. There's highs, and the highs are good, and there's lows, and the lows are really bad. So,
Lows, you gotta drink beer.
Precisely. I recommend that to anyone, and everyone enjoys a nice cold beer. That will help you immensely.
This last game in Toronto, though, on Friday, I mean, I'm sure the crowd is gonna. I mean, it's gonna be great no matter what. They're definitely gonna deserve a round of applause on this team. It's been such a successful season, even though you lose by 40 points in an Eastern Conference Finals Game 5. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this has been the best Raptors season to date. So we'll see.
You're already sounding like it's already over, man. That's like, no, just like we were saying before, like nothing is ever over. You saw what happened last year to the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even counting Golden State out yet. You don't know what they can do. Like 2 out of 3 of those games, if it goes to 7, are going to be at home for them as well. So the Raptors have blown out Cleveland before, and if they get it, like, I mean, everything just snowballed off the turnovers pretty much.
Yeah. I know Bill Simmons was tweeting something about 40-point wins should count for like 2 wins or something like that. But yeah, exactly. But it's whether it's if it's a 1-point loss or 40-point loss, there's still one loss. Toronto can regroup and take it back to Toronto, and then they've shown up. I mean, they've shown up in Game 7 in the first 2 series. So let's hope we can force that Game 7.
Yeah, of course, those were both at home.
That's true.
So is this one, Game 5 elimination game at home, baby. Elimination game.
Yeah. No,
Game 6, sorry.
I'm okay with what I expect to see in Game 6, but they just have to bring it and see what happens. Lay it all out there.
Yeah. The Raptors are the kings of bounce back games, so
they have them. Let's hope the streak stop now.
Yeah.
We believe.
One question: Do you think Cleveland's going to be that aggressive, like being on the road, that aggressive with their double teams on Lowry and DeRozan? Like,
I think they'll try.
That could snowball in the other direction too, right? Like where they start whipping it out for threes for other guys, but.
Yeah, I think they'll try and see if it works, see if they have success with it, and then if DeMar, like you say, can recognize the double team and find the open shooter or cutter earlier, they should be able to get the crowd on their side and kind of get rolling and be in a much better position. So I could definitely see it happening.
Yeah, I think so too. So I mean, Game 6 on Friday at the ACC. I believe it's another 8:30 start, 8:30 Eastern. So we'll be back again for Game 6. Stay tuned to the blogs, hiphoopjunkies.com, hoopheadsnorth.com. Follow us on Twitter, at Romeo Aquino, at Yui the Jock, at Sean Francois. This is episode 97 or 96, I can't remember. We out.